is News Mongolia. I'm Satlang Hort in the MNB World studio. For our top stories. COVID-19, 927 more confirmed cases, 4 additional deaths. Overseas voting for the Mongolian presidential election took place on May 30th and 31st. 16 young civil servants will study at Japanese universities in 2022. For other news, stay tuned. The Ministry of Health reported that 927 new COVID-19 cases were confirmed nationwide in the past 24 hours, and 4 people have died.
As of today, 927 new cases were confirmed after taking tests from around 6,000 people nationwide. 682 more patients have recovered, including patients who are being treated at hospitals, and no recoveries were recorded among people who are being treated at home, which makes it a day of a very few recoveries. Unfortunately, 4 people aged between 44 and 79 died due to COVID-19 complications within the past 24 hours. Of today's new cases, all cases are of domestic transmission. 829 cases were confirmed in Ulaanbaatar and 98 were confirmed in the provinces, with most of the cases recorded in Bolortung, Khinti, Darkhan, Ovs, and other provinces. Among the 4,475 COVID-19 patients being treated at hospitals nationwide, 53.5% are showing mild symptoms of illness and 112 are in critical condition. Additionally, 2,568 patients are being treated at home. As of May 21, 2021, there are 111 teams working at 54 immunization points and 2 mobile bus points in Ulaanbaatar, and a total of 640 doctors and medical professionals will work to immunize 14,425 people. Health officials advise the people not to relax yet and keep following the safety precautions, as it will take more time until most of the citizens have gained full immunity.
Mongolians living abroad voted in the Mongolian presidential election on May 30th and 31st. Overseas voting took place 10 days prior to the official election day, June 9th. MNB correspondent Atsu gave us the report on overseas voting in London. Overseas voting for the Mongolian presidential election was held on Sunday and Monday for Mongolians living in London. Voting was open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. local time. MNB correspondent Atsu visited the 17th electoral district on the first day of voting, where 50% of registered voters had already cast their ballots. He had the chance to interview Mongolian voters at Hyde Park.
Today we visited the Mongolian embassy in London to cast our votes. It is 200 kilometers to get to London from Nottingham. There are so many Mongolians here.
The presidential election will be held in Mongolia next week. We encourage all Mongolians to actively participate by voting. I am Tserembat. I voted in the Mongolian presidential election by coming to the Mongolian embassy in London from Saray. Many Mongolians are voting today. After the polls close, we are gathering at Hyde Park for a run and to see each other after the lockdown. We are having a good day.
This year, a total of 7,394 overseas voters were registered to participate in the Mongolian presidential election. MNB correspondent Atsu reporting from London. Mongolians residing in South Korea are voting for the next president of Mongolia. We have a report from our MNB correspondent in Seoul, Ijit Bolt.
Mongolians residing in South Korea are casting their votes for the next president of Mongolia. There are 35,000 Mongolian nationals currently studying and residing in South Korea. According to official data, 1,077 people of voting age have registered to vote in the presidential election. Those who are coming to the embassy to vote are required to wear face masks, disinfect their hands and wear gloves.
The registration of voters took place from April 9th to May 20th. In total, 1,077 people were registered. The voter list has been confirmed by the General Election Commission.
This year's election is being held during a pandemic. What kind of preventive measures are being taken by the Mongolian embassy?
The embassy is cooperating with the sanitary and disinfection department of Gyeongsang-gu district, where the embassy is located. We are conducting disinfection and cleaning every 2 hours. 5 people are assisting voters by measuring their temperatures and maintaining social distancing of 2 meters. We are also distributing plastic gloves and regulating entry and exit.
Please tell us how many people are working at the precinct and are there any election observers?
The General Election Commission approved a 5-member team of embassy staff. The ambassador himself heads the local election commission. There are 2 observers from the Mongolian People's Party and 1 observer from a non-governmental organization.
Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Asian Development Bank approved a loan package of $19 million for Mongolia to purchase safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines. The project is part of ADB's $9 billion Asia-Pacific Vaccine Access Facility, or APVAX, which was launched in December 2020 to offer rapid and equitable vaccine-related support to ADB's developing member countries.
COVID-19 has caused considerable disruption to Mongolia's health, well-being and economy. ADB's APVAX support will provide the government of Mongolia with immediate and flexible financing to vaccinate priority populations, especially those at highest risk from infection, to reduce the impacts of the disease and help put the country on the path to sustained recovery.
As COVID-19 emerged at the start of 2020, Mongolia responded quickly to avoid the rapid spread of the disease. However, community transmission emerged in November 2020, straining the healthcare system's capacity. The economy shrank by 5.3% in 2020, with official job losses reaching 63,900, or 5.4% of total employment. It is expected that COVID-19 will significantly increase the poverty rate from its level of 28.4% in 2018. Women in Mongolia have been disproportionately affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, as they comprise 82% of frontline healthcare workers and have a higher risk of exposure, with the number of calls to hotlines and women requiring shelter services rising significantly. The Support for COVID-19 Vaccine Delivery in Mongolia program under APVAX will procure vaccines to contribute to the government's efforts to immunize at least 30% of the population, representing priority populations as defined under Mongolia's National Deployment and Vaccination Plan. These include individuals at high risk of death from COVID-19 infection and about 200,000 frontline workers. In addition, people living with disabilities, those who suffer from chronic diseases, and vulnerable groups requiring social assistance will benefit from the vaccine rollout. The total cost of the APVAX project is $43.82 million, with ADB providing an ordinary loan and concessional loan of $9.5 million each. ADB Country Director for Mongolia, Pavit Ramachandran, and Mongolia's Minister of Finance, Jahlan Bolt, signed the loan agreements immediately after the project's approval. Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank plans to provide co-financing of $21 million, and the government will contribute $3.82 million. The APVAX project is part of multifaceted and comprehensive support to Mongolia from ADB in response to COVID-19 and builds on ADB's long track record of assistance to Mongolia's healthcare system, which includes 7 loans, 10 grants, and 19 technical assistance projects since 1993.
Thank you for staying with us on MNB World. Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
Minister of Finance Jahlan and Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Japan to Mongolia Kobayashi Hiroyuki exchanged notes at the Ministry of Finance of Mongolia on the JDS Human Resource Development Scholarship Program grant of 248 million yen, funded by the government of Japan. In Mongolia, it's important to improve the governance of government agencies and ministries responsible for development issues, including the diversification of the industrial system, and to train highly capable human resources. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Ambassador Kobayashi said he was looking forward to sending Mongolian professionals to Japan to study the practices and experiences of Japan and contribute to Mongolia's development. Minister Jaflan expressed his gratitude to Japan and the Japanese people for many years of support for the Human Resource Development Scholarship Program. As a result of this cooperation, up to 16 young civil servants will study at Japanese universities in 2022. The two sides noted that this cooperation in HR will contribute to the development of mutual understanding and friendly relations between the two countries.
The Tokyo 2020 3-on-3 basketball Olympic qualifier was held in Graz, Austria last week. On the fourth day of the tournament, the Mongolian national team played two decisive matches. Unfortunately, they lost both games and had lost their chance to qualify for the Summer Games.
Out of bounds.
The Mongolian national team played their first game against the Czech Republic and lost 21-15. From the beginning of the game, the two teams competed equally and the points difference was not big. However, in the final 3 minutes of the match, the Czech team's long-range shots were successful, widening the gap and giving the Czechs the victory. The Czech Republic have played 4 matches and won just 1. In second game of the fourth day, the Mongolian national team played a very important match against Brazil, and the Mongolian national team lost 10-18. If the Mongolian team had won the match, they would have finished first in their group and advanced to the knockout stages. If they lost, Poland and Brazil would advance to the next round. As in the previous game, the Mongolian national team started well. However, from 9-all onwards, Brazil took the lead and Mongolia started to slow down. Despite trying to close the gap, the match ended with Brazil winning and Poland and Brazil advancing from Group A to the next round. As for the Mongolian national team, the Austrian competition is over, but the hopes of qualifying for the Olympics have not been completely dashed. The last qualifying match for the Olympics will take place on June 4th in Debrecen, Hungary. Poland, the Netherlands and Latvia join Serbia, the Russian Olympic Committee, China and Japan, who had already secured their spot based on the FIBA 3x3 Federation ranking on November 1st, 2019.
Of course, we will see Mongolia in action.
The 32nd Ivan Yarygin Golden Wrestling Grand Prix was held from 26th to 30th of May in Krasnoyarsk, Russia. The Mongolian national team was able to win 6 medals, including 2 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze.
To participate in the competition, 248 athletes from 10 countries came to Krasnoyarsk, including Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia, Turkey, Belarus, Moldavia, Kazakhstan, Egypt, Greece and Russia. On the third day of the tournament, SHOOVOOR and BOLORTUNGALAG won gold medals and Tawachimig won a silver medal at the 32nd Ivan Yarygin Grand Prix. SHOOVOOR, who competed in the women's 59 kg weight class, won 4 matches winning gold medal and Tawachimig won silver medal. SHOOVOOR is winning the Ivan Yarygin Grand Prix for the third time, winning the gold medal in 2015, 2020 and 2021. In the women's 50 kg weight category, Otranjarga lost to Russia's Valeria Chapsarkova 2-6 for the bronze medal, while in the 55 kg weight category, Helena lost to Russia's Ekaterina Isakova 0-5. BOLORTUNGALAG brought the second gold medal for the Mongolian national team in Krasnoyarsk. She defeated Maria Kuznetsova, Dinara Kudaeva, Alina Klimova and Evgenia Apovalova of Russia. BOLORTUNGALAG also won a gold medal at the Asian Championships 2 months ago.
Here comes the weather forecast for the world's major cities. for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.